From Studio 1A in Tampa, Florida, comes a talk show that really feels your pain and tells you like it is. We love America and all that freedom-loving Americans want to protect. Live from coast to coast and on your radio, it's For the People with Keith Allen.
We'll help you survive this thing called life. We're for the people. Whatever your source of stress or strife, for the people is there.
Well, hello, Mr. and Mrs. America. I am Keith Allen and proudly welcoming you to this Thursday's edition of For the People. It's June the 15th, 2017. And is the mainstream media, the fake news primarily, are they responsible for yesterday's shooting? As you know, House Majority Whip Steve Scalise was shot along with Capitol Police, and it's just sad. Scalise is in critical condition still. The president went to visit along with First Lady, and the nation is certainly praying for his recovery, along with the police officers that heroically jumped literally into the bullets to protect others. And that's just an amazing feat that should never go unrecognized, but just unbelievable courage that was shown literally under fire, no pun intended. It's just, it amazes me. And, you know, the media, they love to play back the shots, the sounds of yesterday when we hear that on the field. And the game is going to play, C-SPAN's going to play it, they're going to raise the money, and it's for a great cause, but they're undaunted, just believing that this was one crazed guy. But there are other crazed people out there, and something that has been a thought of ours here at For the People, and thought of many conservatives out there, including one big one that has a mega microphone, a little bit bigger than mine, is conservative talk radio host Rush Limbaugh. And he's basically accusing the liberal mainstream media of radicalizing James Hodgkinson. And that was the man that shot his 50 rounds, and many missed, but Whip got it in the hip, and must have been a lot of damage because he's had to have several surgeries. But do you believe that the New York Times, Washington Post, LA Times, CNN, MSNBC, ABC, CBS, NBC, do you believe that they are responsible for this shooting? As he puts it, he says this cumulative effect of impact, this constant barrage of negativity. I subscribe to what he says. I mean, these are things that I have said. This has been my thinking all along, but to see the hatred that's spewed, and it's very evident from the radicalized James Hodgkinson. He's had 2 Facebook pages, that are all anti-Trump hatred. And what's most bizarre today, that Central Park, New York play, Shakespeare in the Park, was it Shakespeare in the Park? That's going to still go on. And you would think that there would be a dwindling audience to see the assassination of Donald Trump. No, the audiences actually have increased. You would think that because of out of respect for this, but no, it just, to me, shows utter disrespect and contentment. And it's just a, what many call it now, a parallel universe that people live in, where they really don't seem to have much of a conscience for what happened. They see this, they hear it, and it really just doesn't affect. As if, oh, well, they got exactly what they deserved. You don't hear anybody saying that, but don't think that they're not thinking that. And that's a shame. That's a shame. There's got to be some more play of, hopefully, what Rush is saying. I'm glad that he's come out and held them responsible, because really the media does have an impact. It clearly does. People clearly tune into these TV talk shows like The View. They watch Maddow and all these programs on CNN and MSNBC, Scarborough, and they believe the stuff that they're telling them, and what the dialogue is, that it's destroying the country, it's going to kill us, having people fear that they're going to lose their benefits and everybody's going to die, and it's the end of the country, it's the end of the world as we know it, like that REM song. I mean, people are scared out there, and when you got people that are unhinged, if you will, and this guy clearly that went on this shooting rampage was unhinged completely. Wouldn't you agree? Unhinged. The guy was I don't even know if I can come with I'd have to use words that I shouldn't use. The guy was certainly bent, hell-bent on what he believed, and people are entitled to believe many things. But the hatred, he doesn't even know Donald Trump, doesn't even know his family, doesn't even know these senators, doesn't even know their families. It could care less, but they have that much hatred and resentment in his heart. Who fueled it? I'm sorry, but yeah, I know. I'm not sorry. The media has propagated this garbage. And do you think that there's going to be any restraint anytime soon for this? The garbage still goes on. When you have another investigation on top of another investigation on top of another investigation for the President of the United States, to me, it fuels the flames of these psychopaths in the country. And sadly to say, there's going to be more of them, because there's a lot of unhinged people out there. And again, you got Shakespeare in the park. You don't think there's going to be any loose cannons? They're going to go out and see that play and say, hey, give them an idea. It just takes one shot from one crazed person. And you see what happened yesterday. Judge Napolitano, he's got this funny name. Love it. I met him once in Napolitano. He's a great New York judge, and he does a lot of reporting and does specials and stuff like that for Fox News Channel. Nice guy, sharp guy. And here's a little commentary. I have no idea why his special out of the field, he was on a New York City street reporting, but his microphone picked up all the ambient noise and very little of him, but you can make it out. I'll crank it up loud enough. But here's some of his thoughts of some of this rhetoric going on about the investigation, which it's going to prove frivolous again, but it's just a major distraction. And I think that's exactly what the media is trying to do, distract our country.
Welcome to my chambers. Last week, former FBI Director James Comey gave long-awaited testimony to the Senate Intelligence Committee and a national television office about his rough-and-tumble relationship with the President of the United States. The story he revealed was bleak and startling. According to Director Comey, President Trump was so anxious to have the FBI investigation of the President's former National Security Advisor, retired Lieutenant General Michael Flynn, shut down, that the President actually said, in words to this effect, to the former director, I hope you can see your way to shutting down the investigation. And then, if you want to keep your job, I want you to shut down the investigation. And then, you're fired. The director interpreted those events as orders from the President and offers from the President, which, if examined under the light of the criminal law, are probably unlawful. Can the President of the United States be indicted for a crime while he is the President of the United States? The short answer is no. The constitutional remedy for presidential criminal wrongdoing, if there is any here, would be impeachment. I hesitate to use that word. My generation lived through the almost impeachment of Bill Clinton and the actual impeachment the almost impeachment of Richard Nixon and the actual impeachment without conviction of Bill Clinton. But in this case, even though Director Comey assured President Trump 3 times that he was not the subject of an FBI investigation, we know that he now is. The tables were turned by Jim Comey's testimony. whether you like Comey or not, the testimony was believable and compelling, that the president entered into an area from which presidents are excluded. That is the decision about who to prosecute and how to prosecute that person. And by entering that area, according to Comey, with an offer of a job in return for compliance with his wishes in that area, he pushed this into the realm of the special prosecutor for investigation. Nobody knows where this is going to go. Donald Trump is right. The White House is under siege. Some of this is the manner in which Donald Trump has chosen to operate his presidency. Much of it is the people surrounding the White House who still can't bear the thought that a person they really dislike and fear is the lawful president of the United States. We will see where this goes. This is the first chapter of many in which the president's adversaries in the intelligence community, in the law enforcement community, and in the political community are waging a rather uncivilized war against him. Welcome to my chambers.
Uncivilized war against him. That's exactly what is going on. Democrats, not all, but a lot of liberals, a lot of whack jobs, under the direction, even, I would say this, Barack Hussein Obama. I saw a movie last night with Brad Pitt, and it basically talked about the just unbelievable negligence of Afghanistan. You got to look it up with Brad Pitt. New movie that's come out. You can find it on Netflix. But that would have never been released when Barack Hussein Obama was in the White House. But to show just the negligence, the lack of attention. Everybody liked Barack Obama because he could give a good speech. He'd make you feel good about yourself. But then you have somebody that actually really gives a darn about the country and doing things done, but instead of giving him the chance to just do the things that he said he was going to do, they want to push the narrative of Russia. Everything's Russia, Russia, Russia. I'm telling you, I'm eating beef stroganoff every day. This is just ridiculous. Now, if he was colluding and he was in bed with them and building businesses over there and getting richer over there, then that would been one thing, but nothing of that sort whatsoever. By the way, the nut job, the radicalized James Hodgkinson, who was his favorite comedians on television? On Comedy Central, Bill Moyer, and all the left-wing comedians. And then Rachel Maddow was one of his favorites, and he thought that she should run for president. These people have radicalized guys all over the country, folks. So, folks, the shooter was acting on fake news, the big lie that Trump had colluded with Putin. My friend, this guy believed everything he heard. And the problem is that people do believe everything they hear on television. And you say, well, maybe they shouldn't. Well, folks, there's a lot of ignorant people in our country. You ever see when they pull up the microphone and they do the revolving microphone and they'll ask who the vice president is? Oh, isn't that Dick Cheney? Yeah, wrong administration. Folks, they say ignorance is bliss, but ignorance is dangerous. Very dangerous. It's a dangerous climate, and where people take the news, that fake news, as being the gospel truth. I've had people tell me, you should check it out on Google. Check it out on Google, and you'll believe me. Because you'll see it, the fake news. And one of them at point was that Donald Trump is cutting all Medicaid, cutting Social Security, and cutting vets' benefits completely. That they're going to be out on the streets and they're going to be starved. Just Google it. And you can Google the fake stories. And they'll come up. And fake stories are attached to ABC, CBS, and all these other things that people put their logo on them, even if they did not report them. Now, there's going